All right, so question 3. Okay, so here we have a graph, okay, some graph. Okay, what would you call it? It looks like what? Or just a few lines. Okay, so we want to apply the transformation to the original. So you can call this one the f of x. Okay, you can label it, right? So here the question says the graph of f of x is shown, right? Sketch the graphs of the following. So yeah, question A and question B. So you want to see what happened after the transformation, what it looks like. Okay, so when you start graphing, you need to get a few points. Okay, usually the important points are the place where they bend, right? So you go from left to right, and then this is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, right? And then we will transform each point and then just connect them in order. Okay, make sure you list the table from left to right one by one. All right, so I'll let you fill out the table. Okay, and once you got the table down, please raise your hand. Okay, just the original one. So count the boxes. So for example, the first one, I'll do the first one. Oh, Ray, you're all done so fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -5 and then 4. Okay, so go in order from left to right. Raise your hand if you finished. Eric, yeah, you got it. Okay, William, how about you? Okay, William, can you tell us your table?
Um, -5, 4 is already there. -4, 1, -2, 1, 2, -4, and 4, 0.
Yep, very good. Okay, so please double check your numbers. These are all good. Now we are going to transform points. Okay, but before we do that, let's figure out the story first. Okay, so please turn this into story form. Okay, after you got the story form, please write down the story, the R and the S. Okay, once you finish both, please raise your hand. Donna, you're lightning fast. Are you lightning table?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a lightning cable. Raise your hand if you have the story form and the story as well. So move things to the Y side.
Do we always have to put it over like -x, put it over 1?
You don't need to. If it's just negative, you can leave it on the top or at the bottom. It's the same.
You don't need to put over 1.
Yeah,
Right?
over one.
Okay.
Okay, let's check the form. Cindy, what's your story form?
Y over 2 equals f of -x.
Yep. Okay, so you can write x over -1 or you just write -x. It's the same. Okay, it will turn out to be the same story. All right, so let's see. Trudy, what's your story for R?
For R, I got reflect over y-axis.
Very good. Over y-axis. Okay. And then for S, Let's see, William.
Vertical extend,
Expand.
expand, right?
Yeah.
By 2.
Yeah, very good. Okay, now before we start getting the points, okay, I would like you to learn a way to check your answer if it's drawn correctly. Okay, so this is called a comic strip. Okay, you all read comic before, right? So it shows how things move one by one. So we'll draw, because there are only 2 story here. So we're gonna draw 3 little cross. Okay, the left side is just a rough sketch. Okay, left side is the original. Okay, so it goes like that. Okay, I'll wait for you. Okay, you can copy that down first. So I'm just drawing a rough sketch of the original graph. Now we are going to reflect this picture, right, the red one, over the y-axis. And I would like you to show me what you think it should look like, okay, in the middle one. Okay, think about it. Give you 10 seconds. You can try to draw it on your sheet first. And then I'll ask one of you to draw it on the screen. Okay, Tiana, can you draw the reflection over y-axis? What does it look like?
I'm using my phone, so I'm not sure if I'm able to draw it.
Give it a try, yeah. Do you want me to zoom in more?
Yeah.
Okay. Better?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if it's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, is it like is it like here? Something like that?
Okay, I don't know if it's because it's broken on my screen. Is it too difficult to draw on the phone?
Yeah, because it doesn't really I can't see what I'm drawing with my hands.
Okay, yeah, okay, maybe the finger blocking, right? Okay, it's okay. How about Eric? Can you try? What does it look like after reflection? Eric, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to draw it.
Flip the graph over y-axis. Reflect over
The
y.
line's not showing up.
Oh, that doesn't show up? Okay. William, do you want to try?
No, thanks.
Me.
Okay, Dana, thank you. Okay.
Can I try?
Yeah. Donna, you try.
Wait.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, so whatever that's on the right side will flip to the left side, and on the left side will flip to the right side, right? You should have a basic idea what it should look like before you start to plot points. So that way you can check, right, if you are drawing it correct. Okay, very good. Thank you, Donna. Okay.
How about the third graph?
Yeah, we're getting there. Okay, so let me copy this first. So it will look like something like that. Okay, it doesn't have to be super accurate, just get a rough shape. Now the next part is we want to get vertical expand, right? Vertical means up and down. Expand means that you want to stretch it, right? So you want to make the graph going up and down longer, taller, okay? So basically what you can do is, it will look something like this. So it'll be skinnier, okay? So left and right is still the same width, just top and bottom will get taller, okay? Longer. So this will be the graph we expect to get, okay? So if you get something that's very different from that, then you know you did something wrong, right? So this is something you can do before you start plotting points. Now to get the point, you will just simply use your story form, okay? So here is why story form is so important. Whatever you see on the x part, you apply to the x values. Whatever you see on the y, you apply to the y. Okay, so for example, here you see a negative on the x. So all the x value, you times it by negative. Okay, so what's the new x value now? You ready?
Negative.
All the x value needs to times by negative. So what are they now?
-4, -1, -1, -4, -0.
X values. X values, you ready?
5, 4, 2, -2, -4.
Yes. Okay. Any questions so far? Right? Because there's a negative sign with the x, so it will affect the x values. Okay. You multiply everything by negative, and it will make the graph flip over the y-axis. Okay. Now let's do the red part. Red part, I circled the 2, right? So 2 is going to affect the y. So all the y value, you just multiply by that number, right? Because it's expand by 2, right? So what's the new y value now? Samantha?
Sure.
You take the y value here, all the y here, multiply by 2. So what do you get? Do you know what to do? Samantha?
Sure.
Yeah, so can you tell me what's the first number?
I'm not sure.
Oh, not sure. You take the number here, the 4, you times it by 2. What do you get?
8,
Yeah. Keep going. What's the next one?
2,
And then?
2,
And then?
-8,
Yeah. And then?
0.
0. Okay. So because you have a 2 under the y, so you just take the y value times it by 2. So that's it. Okay. So that's the use of story form. You can very quickly see what to do with the numbers. All right. So now please follow the table and then let's draw the graph, right? We should get something similar to our comic there, right? So 5, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 4, 2, right? And then 2, 2. You go in order. -2, -8. Be down here. -4, 0. And you connect them in order, okay? Right? You see, it's the same shape as what we predicted at the beginning. Okay, isn't that amazing? Right? So the story form works, okay? And it can tell you what will happen. So this graph flip over and then gets taller. Okay, so we have another one to try, all right? So question B, what is special about this one? Before we begin, let's discuss a little bit. Anybody see the unique thing about this question, question B? Anyone?
Is it like inverse?
Oh, you can see an inverse. How do you know it's an inverse?
Because 3x and then 2y on the right.
Usually we have what on the right side?
Y.
Usually.
Oh, x.
X, right? Usually should be y equal f of x, right? But then this time we have x equal f of y. So kind of swap around, right? Instead of y on the left, we have x on the left side, right? Instead of x inside the f, we have y inside the f, right? So this one has an inverse, okay? So remember that. So this, right? Change it into the story form, okay? So what you can do, yeah, you do the same thing, okay? So instead of moving, so you will do the same thing, you move things to the x side instead, right? Because right now the x is on the left. So think about what can go to the left side, okay? And what should go, like what should we change on the inside of f, right? So please write out the story form. And then same thing, we're gonna make a prediction, okay? So write the story as well, R, and then S, and then we're gonna draw the comic. This one we will have 4, okay? 4 boxes for the strip. Okay, so once you got the story form and finished writing the R and S, please raise your hand.
We flip black. We flip flip. We flip. We flip back the
Yeah.
x and y.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
What do you mean flip the X and Y back? What do you mean by that?
Wait, after everyone's finished, I'll tell you.
Okay. Raise your hand if you finish the story form and also the R and S.
So like
Mm-hmm.
the y is supposed to be on the left and the x is supposed to be on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Do we switch or no?
No, you don't switch them because if you switch, then you change the question,
Oh yeah.
right? Then you kind of inverse it back, right? You just work with what you have.
Okay.
Okay. Please raise your hand if you got something. So far, we only have 2 people. Anyone has no idea what to do, like the story form? Basically, you do the same thing as before, right? Even though it's inverse, right? Whatever that's movable to the left side, you move it, right? If it's not movable, then you see it, you check if it's in story form. Okay, it's all the same thing. And the rule that you remember, right? The rules for reflection, the under X, under Y, right? Expand, compress, those rules still holds. Okay, it doesn't change. Even if it's inverse, it's still the same rule. Any question, Ray, William, Trudy, Samantha, Cindy? Do you have questions? Okay, Trudy, can you tell me your story form? Do you have it?
I'm not exactly sure, but
Okay, yeah, I want to check.
y over -1/3.
Y over
Wait.
-1/3, like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about the other side? Hmm?
F bracket 2x. Wait, no. 2 over 1/2. Wait, I mean x over 1/2.
Okay. All right, so the only thing that you don't need to do is swapping the x and y, okay? Otherwise, you will change the question, right? If you do that, then it become not inverse. Does that make sense? Right, because the question we recognize as an inverse. So you don't want to switch it back and then make it no longer inverse, right? Otherwise, you change the question, okay? So you just need to change, everything else is good, okay? Just make sure you keep the x where they are, keep the y where they are. Okay, Trudy? Got it? Okay. All right, so x is still on the left side, right? Y is still inside the f, so you know it's an inverse, okay? So don't change it back. Now that's the story form we want to have. Is there anyone getting different things or want to ask how she got this? Okay, is everybody clear how to get here? Okay, if we're fine, let's talk about the story now. All right, Samantha, what's the R? Do we have reflection here? Do we have reflection?
Yes.
Okay, what kind?
Reflect over y.
Yeah, reflect over y-axis. Okay, anything else? No more? Okay, and Cindy, anything you want to add?
Should it be like reflect over the Y equals X.
Yes, okay. Don't forget this one has an inverse, so you should have reflect over y equal x before anything else happens. Okay, so you would put reflect over y equal x, and then you reflect reflect over x-axis. Okay, so make sure, don't forget that, right? Whenever you have inverse, because we are working on, we are applying all the transformation on original, right? Original is y. Oops, can write it. Okay, give me a sec. Okay. Original is this one, right? Y equals f of x, right? The y is on the left, x is on the right side. But then the question we have has the opposite, right? So you have to make it inverse, and then you change the inverse graph. Okay, that's the order. Otherwise, the graph will look different. Now let's look at S. What's the S here, William?
Horizontal, compress by 1/3,
Good.
and vertical compress by 1/2.
Yep. Okay, so a lot of compression here, so that means it was end up pretty small. Okay, so let's predict, right? Let's draw a little comic strip, see what happens. So this one might be a little bit tricky to draw. Okay, we want to reflect over y equal x, which means there's a reflection line, right? If you remember from when we learned inverse. Okay, it doesn't show up. Okay, let me clear that first. Okay. Okay, so let's try one more time. So there is, the green line is the reflection line. Okay, this one is the y equal x. So we want to like a mirror, right? Flip it over to the other side. Okay, so please try to draw the comic on your book first. Okay. If you are not sure, you can do one point at a time. Okay. For example, you can think about the points we had, right? For example, like the top, like this point, right? This point is at 4, 0. Right? This point is at 4, 0. For English, swap x and y. So 4, 0 will become 0, 4. So we'll end up there. Okay? Then that should give you a start. And then you try to get the rest of the sketch. Okay, once you get a sketch of inverse, can you raise your hand? Okay, just the second one, okay? Raise your hand if you get a picture. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so this one I'm gonna draw it. Okay, see if your picture matches mine. So I'm gonna start with the dots. Okay, for original it's going down, right? So remember for inverse, down and left is like a pair. So instead of going down, right, I will go to the left. It'll go like this. And then going up, now we'll go to the right side. So go up, okay? And then go to the left, then that means I will go down. And then like that. Okay, so that should be after inverse. Okay, I hope you get the same one. Are we doing okay? Right, so after this will be easy, okay? We just have two reflection. So now we will reflect, continue, right? We'll reflect the picture over y-axis, okay? So please draw on your book now, reflect over y-axis. Okay, Cindy, can you draw this one out for us? After reflection over y-axis.
Kind of like that.
Very good. Yeah, I can see it. Okay, good job. Yeah, so flip over, right? On the left side, the pointy part will go to the right, and then, yeah, everything just flip over. Okay, very good. Let me clear this. Okay, now the last part is compression. Okay, so compression means you want to squeeze it, right? So you want to make it smaller horizontally, so you be squeezing this way, right? Vertically, then you'll be squeezing up and down. Okay, so it's like you are squeezing a ball, right? From left and right, squeeze the ball from top and bottom. Okay, so the whole thing will become tiny. So basically, it will look something similar to this thing. Okay, so this should be our final look. Okay, we hope to get this one at the end. All right, so let's see if it does work. Okay, so remember, whatever, right, to get a table, you look at the story form, right? You use the story form to get the table. But because this one has an inverse, and remember, inverse happens before everything else, right? So what do you need to do to get the starting point? Tiana? What will be the starting points? Do we still use the same starting points? Or
Do you flip?
yeah, okay, so we need to flip it first and then apply whatever under X or whatever under the Y to get the new X and Y, okay? So basically what you can do is you write them out first, okay? So it will be 4, right? 1, 1, -4, 0, okay? So that's the original Y. Now they will become X. And then the X value will become the Y. So -5, -4, -2, 2, 4. Okay, so this is after inverse. And then you cross them all out. All of them will be changed. Okay, so whatever you see under the X, you apply to the X values. Whatever you see under the Y, you multiply with the Y values. Okay, once you get the new table, please raise your hand. If you're not sure what to do, please let me know, okay? I can explain to you how to get the table, okay? I'll do the first one, okay? First one, so x is 4 times it by negative 1/3. So the first point is negative 4 over 3. Okay, and then for the y, you take negative 5 times a half, right? Because there's a half under the y. So it'll be negative 5 over 2. Okay, it's that simple. You use the story form to get the values. But make sure you swap x and y before you begin. Okay, it's an inverse.
I don't get it. Why is it like negative 5 over 2 and not like
Because,
negative 10?
Yeah, what do you see under the y?
1 over 2.
1 over 2. So that means it's vertically compressed by half, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to affect all the y values. So all the y value will be halved. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you just take the number, multiply by the y value, and that will be the new y value. Okay?
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
I think.
Okay, so basically it follows the story, right? Compress means you make it smaller, and by half means you want to times it by half, right? So half of anything will be smaller. So if you see a 5 under the y, then you times it by 5. Okay, whatever you see under, you use that number to multiply.
Jason, why is the 5 over 2 negative?
Because the original x, okay, look at the original on the left side, right? You see this is a negative 5.
Uh-huh.
And then because inverse, it will become the y values.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that will become the new y value after inverse.
Okay.
And continue use that y value, right? That's why I cross it out. The negative 5, I cross it out, and then take that, multiply by half. Do you
Okay.
follow? Do you get it, William?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, once you finish the table, please raise your hand. Okay, Trudy, can you tell us your x values?
I think negative 1 over 3 next.
And then?
Negative 1 over 3 again.
Mm-hmm.
4 over 3.
Mm-hmm.
And 0.
Yeah, very good. Okay, next one, the y values, Tiana.
Negative 2,
Yep,
negative 1,
yep.
1, and 2.
Okay, all right, so please graph it out. Just follow the table, okay? Once you finish the graph, please raise your hand. We have lightning again, huh, Donna? Negative 4 over 3, so it's like negative 1 point something, right? Just approximate. And then negative 5 over 2 is negative 2.5. So it'll be somewhere here. Okay, and just approximate. Negative 1/3, and then negative 2 will be here. Negative 1/3, negative 1. Four over 3, so it's bigger than 1, right? 1 1/3, and then it's 1, so go up. Okay, raise your hand if you finish the graph. And then we have last point, 0, 2. 0, 2 will be here. And you just connect in order, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It matches our original comic, isn't it? Right, over here, it matches it, okay? So that means we are doing it correctly, right? And none of the value in the table is wrong. Okay, so that's how you can check your work. So for your homework, will be similar to question on this page. Okay, so there will be question mostly like practice how to do the story, and then I will probably throw you 2 questions, okay, for graphing. Okay, so basically just like this one. So let's take a look. Look at your homework page. Okay, so this week you will be finishing the rest of the question on this page, page 27. Okay, so you don't need to graph, right? So this one you just write a story form and then describe the RST. We only learn R and S. Okay, next week we'll do the T. Okay, so you just write down the R and S. And then for the graph, let's see, we don't have, okay, we don't have graph that is R and S only. Maybe I'll pick some multiple choice on here. Okay, so anyways, so later I'll post the Google homework to Google Classroom. Okay, so if you have questions, you can stay after. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Okay. Yeah, are we good?
Next week.
Sorry, not next week. Oh, Friday. Okay, Friday. Yeah. Okay. Okay, no question, and see you.
Bye,
Bye.
Jason.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.